Yes. From this figure, if you see, this is P, this is theta, and this is A, and this is NO. So NO is equal to P cosecant theta comes from this triangle. Fine. So let us see now. NO is equal to A secant theta also comes from that same triangle here, and that is the focal distance, my hyperpolar action, and this is from the triangle P cosecant theta. So if from this equation you have A is equal to P cosecant theta by secant theta or P cot theta. Now putting the value of A in equation 7. Where is your equation 7? Here, this equation. S is equal to A into 1 plus secant theta is equal to, instead of A you can put P cot theta, and cot is cos by sine, secant is 1 by cos. So here if you take LCM, cos theta, it will be cos theta plus 1 here, this and this will go. So cos theta plus 1 by sine theta, you put sine theta is equal to sine theta by 2 cos theta by 2, and cos theta plus 1 is 2 cos square theta by 2. So 2 cancels, and here we get cos by sine is cot. One cos will go anyway from here. So P cot theta, S is equal to P cot theta by 2. This is equation 9. Let us put the value of S in equation 6. This equation. P square is equal to S into S minus B. Here P square is equal to S into S minus B. You will rearrange this equation. You can go through P cot theta into P cot theta. This P will go, first of all. One P will go from here, it will come P. And here cot theta into P cot theta is P cot square theta by 2 minus B into cot theta by 2. So B cot theta by 2 should be, this term is taken that side. So it will become P cot square theta by 2 minus P. So B is equal to this equation, P into cot square theta by 2 minus 1 by cot theta by 2. This is equal to P into cot theta by 2 minus tan theta. You are dividing here. Okay. Cot theta by 2 will remain, and 1 by cot theta is tan theta. So here B is equal to P into, again cot theta is cos by sine, tan is sine by cos. You will take the LCM and you will get here sine theta by 2 cos theta by 2 will be how much? It will be sine theta is equal to 2 sine square theta by 2. 2 sine theta by 2 cos theta by 2. So 2 will cancel here. 2 will go up rather. Here also cos square theta by 2 minus sine square theta by 2. Those are all trigonometric equations. You can go through. So this is B is equal to 2P cot theta you will get ultimately, or if cot theta is written 1 by tan theta is equal to 2P by B. So we have a relation here. Also there is a simple rearrangement here. Phi is equal to pi minus 2 theta from the figures. So phi by 2 will be pi by 2 minus theta. So cot pi by 2 minus theta, that is cot phi. Cot pi by 2 minus theta is cot 90 minus theta is tan theta. So here we have 2P by B. So I write cot of phi by 2, cot of phi by 2. That means pi by 2 minus theta, which is tan theta, which is 2P by B. So this relation arises, cot of phi by 2 is equal to 2P by B. This is the relation between the impact parameter and the angle through which the alpha particle is deflected. Now all these calculations are trigonometric equations, coordinate geometry. So you can write from coordinate geometry and trigonometric equations, you get this result. This is the first step in Rutherford scattering. You have got a relation. Now from this relation we conclude that smaller the value of P by B, greater is 5. That means P is constant anyway. So if P increases, then the deflection also increases. If the alpha particle distance from perpendicular distance from the nucleus increases, then phi also increases. Number of now we will calculate second step, number of alpha particles scattered through between phi and phi plus d phi. Here we have shown a thin foil in the form of a disk of width t and radius p. We are taking only the impact parameter because all the alpha particles passing through within this distance will get deflected. Rest we are not interested. Why these deflections happen, we have to account for. So here we have alpha particles now striking within the distance p, we have to find out, and which have deflections between phi and phi plus d phi. The probability q that an alpha particle passing within a distance p of any nucleus, within a distance p of any nucleus, is actually the total volume and how many nuclei are there per unit volume. Supposing n is the number of atoms per unit volume, each atom will have one nucleus, t is the thickness, so total volume is pi p square t into n will give you the total number of nuclei, and those are the nuclei which will each nuclei will deflect one alpha particle. So number of alpha particles deflected. Probability that an alpha particle is deflected is proportional to this. This is your equation 14, and from equation 13 we know that P is equal to B by 2 cot phi by 2. So if you put the value of P here, equation 13, P is equal to B by 2 cot phi by 2. So Q will be pi n t, here you put P square value, that is B square cot square phi by 2. So this will give you the probability that an alpha particle is deflected by an angle equal to or greater than phi. Now we want an number of alpha particles deflected between the angles phi and phi plus d phi. So we will differentiate this equation so that dq equal to, these are all constants, only here phi is variable. So cot square phi by 2, it is cot phi by 2 cosecant square phi by 2 d phi, that differentiation. So now here in this we have shown a figure where an alpha particle incident on the gold foil, and here is the screen. Here we have drawn the two circles, the inner circle radius r sin phi. Now here we have seen that this is the alpha particle which is deflected by an angle phi plus d phi, and this is the alpha particle which is deflected by an angle phi. So, and this distance is r, from here to here it is r, so this will be r sin phi. And if total number of alpha particles incident normally on the foil, then number of alpha particles deflected between phi and phi plus d phi will be represented by dn, and this is equal to n0 into dq. Now dq value we know, 1 by 4 pi n t b square cot phi by 2 cosecant square phi by 2 d phi, where here dn is the these dn particles will fall in an area of how much area? This is the area, this whole thing, this belt, whose radius is say r sin phi. So its circumference will be 2 pi r sin phi, and whose width is r d phi. This width is r d phi. Here I have written that width is r d phi. So this is the total area on which these particles are falling. Hence number of alpha particles striking unit area of the screen in the direction between phi and phi plus d phi will be, but unit area means divided by area, it will be divided by area. So here This is page number 5. Yeah, here we are representing this as n5. We have taken the total number of particles incident divided by the area, and after calculation it comes to be 1 by 16 r square n0 b square nt cosecant to the power 4 5 by 2 d5. This is the final equation where b is defined as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 2z square by half mv0 square. This is now substituting value of b from 19 in 18. They have substituted the value of b also instead of b square and written the equation. This is the final equation which tells us the number of particles which get deflected within the angle phi and phi plus d5 per unit area. Okay, so all these calculations have been shown in a very broad manner for you to understand. There are only two things here. Number one, you have to brief about the experiment. Number two, you have to show a special case where the calculation says you are applying law of conservation of energy and law of conservation of momentum, and you are getting the relation between all these calculations. Ultimately, you are getting the relation between the impact parameter and the angle through which it is deflected, and using this value you have been calculating the number of alpha particles scattered through angle between phi and phi plus d5 per unit area. That is the last formula I have given you. That is the last formula. So any difficulty in the calculations in between, don't get worried. You have to draw the figures and you have to show the introduction, the points, the assumptions made that the positive charge in the atom lies in its center in a small space measuring about 1 fermion. The radius of the atom is 1 angstrom, 10 to the power minus 10 meters. The radius of the nucleus is 10 to the power minus 14 meters. That is 1 Fermi. So all the positive charge as well as the neutrons which form the basic mass of the atom, they are centered at one point which is called the nucleus. This was a great renovation actually in the structure of atom, where Rutherford won the Nobel Prize in 1911. Of course, he could not explain the stability of the atom, in the sense that when an electron is revolving around the nucleus, it is an accelerated charged particle, and according to classical physics, accelerated charged particle must emit radiation. So it emits radiation and slowly its energy decreases. It should fall into the nucleus. So the atom should not be stable. And the other part was, whatever spectrum we have got discrete lines instead of continuous spectrum. So whatever energy we are giving to the atom, it absorbs only certain wavelengths, and the electron gets into the excited state. While coming down, it releases only certain wavelengths which are pertaining to certain energy level only, not all energy levels. So he could not explain these two. Then comes your Bohr's atom model, which I have already explained. So hope you understood. Let me have any doubts if you